doesn't mean you got to give in to it. Just because everything doesn't go your way doesn't mean you got to give in and surrender. I think I was telling Rosie, you know, the things that have happened, I was talking about it last week, the place that we've come to financially in our lives, which is one of the big hurdles that we've had for a long time. I walked with God from the beginning. I told her this morning, I said, the funny thing about this, and I'll probably talk about this for weeks, because I'm actually living in utter amazement now of what God is doing and the way things are happening. We're going through this thing, and I'll talk her ear off about it, you know, just day in and day out, constantly the same thing. Do you ever get tired of it?
You know, I get to reap the benefits.
Okay. She gets to go shopping. Yep. But what I was realizing was back when we were almost $500,000 in debt, that the Lord started putting things on our path. Do this, do this, do this. And I just did that and got out of the way. But I never gave up. I kept walking. Going back to the dead life was never an option. Going back to where I'm going to feel sorry for myself and get depressed and, oh, this is never going to work and nothing's ever going to happen and is this ever going to, you know, is it ever going to be here? Never was an option for me. The option was, I'm going to live in Jesus. I came to the place of, God, this is your house. You want to take it? Take it. But the devil's not taking it. If you take me out of here, you take me out of here. It will not be the devil. It will be you. And nothing ever happened that way. We just kept moving forward and moving forward and moving forward, and things would happen, one thing on top of another, and the Lord would put something else in my path, and I'd do that, and He'd put something else, and I'd do that. That's how it works. That's what it is to live a vigorous, an active, powerful, and strong life. All you have to do is walk. When He puts something in your path, walk that. When He puts something else in your path, walk that. He takes the pressure. We don't have to take all the pressure. That's His job. His job was to get me out of debt. My job was to be a good and faithful steward of the money. So I did that. And I was tight. When we started out, I was tight. Tight, 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 tight. Choke your head off. Pinch your head off tight. But I had to be. As things got better and they loosened up, then the Lord started dealing with me and say, okay, now, things have loosened up on you. Loosen up a little bit. So I'd start to loosen up a little bit. I still had to be a good steward, but just not as tight a good steward. I didn't have to have it underneath my heel, crushing, you know, the finances under my heel. And as things loosened up, I was able to loosen up. Now we're getting to a place where there'll be money in the bank. Well, I still can't go hog wild, but I'm still a good steward. But I'm walking in an active, powerful, and strong life. And you can take that and put it to any aspect of your life, any part of your life. Because what's it say? Likewise, where are we? Verse 11. Reckon you also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord. I am dead unto sin. In other words, sin has no more place in my life. Death and sin have no more dominion in my life. No more. You have to come to the place that there's no more room for that in my life. What's the part of your life that is just killing you? I mean, what's the thing in your life? If you could name one thing right now, what is the one thing that is just, it's the battle of the ages. And we are fighting, me and this thing. At some point you have to come to the place of I'm not quitting and this thing has no more power in my life. I will reckon it dead and consider myself alive to Jesus. I am dead to this thing. You don't have any more power in me. Now I'm going to walk with God, an active, strong, and powerful life. And I'm going to use every bit of faith that I have to get that completely out of my life, that it doesn't even have a say. That it doesn't even show up anymore. I've got things in my life, in my past, that don't even show up anymore. Here, in my mind. They just don't show up. It's not an issue anymore for me. to get insecure and beat down, feel sorry for myself, not even an issue anymore. Doesn't come into play in my life. Do I ever feel sorry for myself? I mean,
No.
honestly.
No, not even a little bit.
I don't. I see the good side of everything. And if you knew my life before, that's a stretch. Before, there wasn't a good side. I mean, just give it time, it'll get bad. Don't worry. Doesn't matter how good you got it, don't worry, it'll fall apart. Just, hey, take some time, but it'll fall apart. Now, there's only up. No matter how good it is, great, it's going to get better. Is it bad? It's going to get better. Is something going on? Here's the good side. When she was finishing with her cancer treatments and all her stuff, I'd look for any little bitty thing that was better. It didn't matter how small it was. Was I aggravating at that point in time?
You were fighting against my nature.
To do what?
The HB was coming out.
Oh. Well, I'd find any little bitty thing that was good and say, see, there, we're making progress. It's getting better. It's looking better. Things are, they're picking up. Things are up. And then the next day, well, how is it? If it was that much, I'm talking a centimeter. If it was a centimeter better, great, things are looking up. It's a better day today.
It clicked for me when you said a cloud the size of a man's hand.
Yep.
That clicked for me.
What did Elijah do? Exactly. He said, go up on that mountain. He told his servant, go up on that mountain and tell me. There was nothing. You couldn't see a thing. There was nothing. And the guy kept going up. What was it? 7 times he went up. And the last time he said, I see a cloud the size of a man's hand. Off in the distance. A cloud that big. See? You better get down. Things are happening. There wasn't nothing happening. He said, let's get down from here. It's about to bust loose. And before they got down, the time they got down, what happened? It had busted loose. That's a new life. That's an active, powerful, and strong life. But I didn't go from here to everything's bad to everything's good overnight. It took time, it took believing God, it took experience, and it took walking with God that I am not quitting. I love that message that we heard on TV this morning. I was in my office just doing some other work, doing some other stuff, and she was on the treadmill listening to a guy preach and had it cranked up to be able to hear it over I think the neighbors could hear it.
It's good. Good message.
And it was don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit.
You don't allow yourself to quit.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Death has no dominion. You don't allow yourself to quit. You don't allow yourself to go that way. If you reckon it dead, what does that mean? It's not an option anymore. If this part of my life is dead, it's not an option to go there anymore and feel that way and let myself feel that way. Because we all, how many in here have had an opportunity this week to really feel sorry for yourself? Look at your life and say, oh my goodness. And just sit in a chair, suck your thumb, or whatever. Just really feel bad. Because you deserve it. Your life is really telling you, you got nothing. It's bad and nothing on the horizon. We all have those opportunities. But if you reckon it dead, that's not an option. When I look at my life and there's nothing on the horizon, there's just nothing out there on the horizon. Now what I see? I only see one thing. You know what that is? The horizon. I don't see what I'm living now. All I see is the horizon. All I see is all the potential of everything that could possibly be right over that hump. That's the only thing I let myself see now. Well, that's mind over matter. No, it's not. I reckon my life dead to sin. Dominion has no hold in my life anymore. And I'm alive unto God. And unto God, what is faith? The substance of things not seen. Faith is that horizon. And that's what I see, the horizon. My blessing is just over the hill. It's just over the hump. But what does the devil show you? Oh, look what you got right in front of your face. All you've got is the circumstances. No, all I've got is the horizon. The circumstances just happen to be here right now. The circumstances are nothing I can do anything about. They're just circumstances. But the horizon, God's got that in his hand. I'm alive unto God. Reckon yourselves alive unto God. All right. I didn't mean to stay here forever and a day. Verse 12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you should obey it in the lust thereof. Let not sin reign. What's that mean? Sin has no more control. Don't let sin reign, that you should obey it. Well, that's no fun. I'm trying to figure out how to say this. I've never taken well to people that, oh, I got in sin and I just don't know what happened. Quit lying to me. You know what happened. You did it. You know, grow up, man up, and take...
And you thought about it a long time to do it.
Take responsibility. You did it. You decided to do it. Let not sin reign in your body. You don't let sin reign in your body. It's up to you. It's up to us what we do. Don't let yourself feel sorry for yourself. That's the same thing. Don't you let yourself get depressed. Don't you let yourself get in fear. Don't you let yourself get in torment or bitterness or anger or whatever. And then if it goes to something else, then fine, don't let it happen. One of the biggest things when Rosie was sick was fear for me. I had to fight the fear. Because the devil was at one point, right at the very end, the devil came in on both of us so strong with fear. Right at in the last, was it week?
That was a spirit of fear.
Yeah, it was a spirit of fear had moved in on the house. And she broke it. At some point you read something or heard something or did something and it was gone. It was broken. For me, I fought it. It was times you could almost touch it. It was so unbelievably strong. There's days I couldn't, it would literally take my breath away. I would sit in my chair and it would move in on me and I couldn't breathe. I was struggling to breathe. It was that strong, it was that crushing. And at that point, it was, don't let sin reign in your mortal body. That's all I had to hold on to. That kind of situation that, God, you're here. I'm not giving in to this. I can't give in to this. If I give in, I got nothing. If I give in, I'm sunk. There's nowhere to go. It was that strong, that powerful. And he says, don't let sin reign in your mortal bodies, that you should obey the lust thereof. Because where does sin bring you? Where does all that stuff bring you? All it does is it feeds your lust. And it causes you to obey the lust. How many want to obey lust? Contrary to popular belief, lust is not that fun. Tried it. It's not that fun. The aftermath is a killer. The guilt is a killer. When you walk with God, there's nothing that kills you. I'm happy. It's all happy. It's all good. It's all up. It's all positive. What are the promises of God?
Yea and amen.
Yea and amen. You see the defining line that he's doing here? What he's saying here? Death has no more power over you. Or sin has no power. Death has no dominion. Now, therefore, don't obey sin. Don't obey the lust. Don't let sin rule in you. You have power over it through Jesus. You can now live an active, what's the word? Live in Him an active, powerful, and strong life. But you have to choose. You have to make a decision, and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to live this way now, not this way. But I don't want to make a choice. Sorry. You got to make a choice. No way around it. Choose this day who you serve. Let me finish. That you should obey it, verse 13. Neither yield ye your members